Greetings, fellow YouTubers. This is Hunt IronX, and today we're doing a collection video on most of my Transformers stuff. I'm going to try to split this up into two parts, so it's not as long, but because I've got a lot of stuff. But yeah, so we're just going to get right into it. We're going to start off with the media stuff. This is just like things I have that aren't, you know, the figures, obviously, which is, we're going to start off with the comics first. These are some Pack-In Energon and Armada comics from two figures I have from those lines. I think the Energon I got from a Scout class. We have the Transformers Timelines Beast Wars prequel comic that came with the Beast Wars DVD collection, which is may or may not be coming up soon. The rest of these are mostly just some full-fledged comic books. This is the Pack-In Rat Trap comic, the Pack-In Sunstreaker comic, and then we got the Pack-In Rodimus versus Cyclonus comic from that one review. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. Very beat up Orion Pax comic. I read this all the time during like middle school when I got the Orion Pax figure. Is one of those days. I'm going to try to speed run some of these now so we're not here on the comics forever, but there's another one that's a Wheeljack Pack-In. Then we've got 10, 11, and 12 of IDW's Transformers reboot before they lost the license, so those are there. We have two more Pack-In comics. We got Prowl and Ironhides. We got another Transformers comic. This is More Than Meets the Eye. We've got another one. I think this is from the final couple arcs of IDW 2.0. Then we've got a Beast Wars comic. I tend to get these kind of just in random order. I don't try to keep up with comics consistently. If I want to read a whole series, I'll just get a free comic book website. But I do like the comic book industry, so I support them where I can, and by buying a couple of my favorite issues tends to help just whatever issues my comic store has available. We've got another one from Transformers IDW 2.0. I think that's just a variant cover of one I already have, if I'm not mistaken. We have issue 4 and 5 of Transformers Shattered Glass. That's pretty cool. Right, then we got the Volume 3 of IDW's Beast Wars. Fantastic book. Speaking of fantastic books, we have Peak Transformers Coloring Book Activity Book, complete in its steel, because that's funny. And then a Transformers animated character book that I had since I was like in elementary school, and it has never left the collection. It just remains here all the time, so it's there. Right. Then lastly, before we get to the movies, we got a Transformers mousepad. This usually is on my laptop table and stuff like that where my computer is. So we now move on to the movies. So I already hinted at it. We got the Transformers Beast Wars Complete Series on DVD. Then we've got Transformers Generation 1, Season 3 and 4, just because I found it for like dirt cheap. We got Transformers Prime, One Shall Stand. This is the, if you remember, it's like a couple issues of, it's the finale of Season 1 of Transformers Prime mashed together into a movie. If you've never seen that, that's what that is. We have, speaking of Transformers, we got Transformers the movie, 1987, almost 1986. I think it doesn't matter. It's around that time point, but it's the G1 Transformers movie. Great movie. And oh hey, look at that. We also have Transformers the movie. It's so funny trying to talk about these without being like, oh, it's the G1 or 96 movie, because everyone immediately thinks of this. Still a good movie. Like that. Not so much the rest of the Bay films, but that one good. And then lastly, we got Bumblebee right here. And oh, I almost forgot. It's all the way back here. Transformers Rise of the Beast on Blu-ray. I do own that, so There you go. Support your physical media releases because these are slowly going to start going out of style, it seems like. So try to support these. We don't want these to go away anytime soon because keeping media that you can have access to is very important. We'll be taking a look at the actual shelves themselves now, just the displays. This is the main Autobot shelf now. As you can see, the main top part here consists of some Autobot, not some of my personal favorites, just some ones. I'm not going to try to name everybody, but you can see there's Optimus there, Elita 1, Hot Rod, Bumblebee, you know, the ones you can think of. There's cardboard and stuff behind it because there's a window there. Don't want to, you know, yellow the Transformers. That's been a problem in recent years. So there's a layer of cardboard behind the wall and then another cardboard right behind it. But just to kind of cover it up. So we now turn over to the opposite side. Just shrink the camera down a little bit. You can see some more Autobots that are here. I just now realized Cosmos is knocked over and I have not fixed him. But yeah, you see just a couple more. Again, I'm not going to try to name all these or else we'll be here forever. But if you know which ones are here, if you recognize them, then you know what they're from and stuff. There's a Headmaster there. Back there. I always forget his name. I know it's something, but I just don't remember. This Wheeljack, I do want to mention. This was a custom that a friend of mine did. The friend who would work on Sonic Plush Adventures with me. He made that. Go check out his Instagram. I'll probably link that in the description, or you'll find it on my socials or whatever have you. But yeah, he painted that for me. Still in the collection to this day, because that combined Wars mold with the right paint job like that Wheeljack is really fun. So he gets to stay in the collection. So yeah, that's the main Autobots. If we now move on to the shelf above it, we now have the shelf above it, which is basically the Studio Series / live action movie kind of adjacent shelf. So this is just kind of stuff that's within Studio Series and the live action movies. It's a little empty right now because there's just not a whole lot on here, but eventually it'll kind of get shifted around and there'll be some more added to it. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of people on the shelf. I own a lot of Transformers. This like doubles my Gundam collection by a lot. So you can kind of just see who's all there. I do mention I have Ravage. He's in his chest. I do want to mention that. But yeah, there's the Walmart exclusive Megatron. Not Walmart exclusive. What is he from? I think he's Toys R Us exclusive. Deluxe Last Night Megatron. He back there. He cool. Yeah. Some of the Cybertron Movie 1 repaints. Yeah. So, that's that shelf. We now move on to the next couple before we end off. So right here is none other than the Beast Wars shelf. Just kind of everybody from around that time frame. We do have some older guys. These are reissues, but we do mainly consist of Kingdom. So, see, we've got these guys, Dinobot and the main crew. Old school Silverbolt. There's Optimus Minor up there. Infamously bad toy. We got Panther, you know, that insert funny Ratchet clip here.
I am able. Just ask Bantor. He was all mandrill before I put a tiger in his tank.
We know, obviously, again, a lot of it's Kingdom when it comes to the main cast. That's just kind of a personal preference thing. I like the Kingdom figures a lot. Tarragator, that's my favorite Beast Wars figure right there. Love that figure. I know he's all shell because it's just clamp it on, but I mean, it's a turtle. What do you expect? And it's a cool transformation, regardless of the whole shell forming. Oh, you slap a turtle shell on there. It is a cool, very Beast Wars-y transformation that does a lot of clever things for its time. And then, yeah, on the opposite side of it, we have some Predacons. We got the original Pterosaur up there. That is the Armada Optimus Prime. Not Armada. Armada Cheetor right there. Got that for free, which is super cool. I don't know if I've ever explained that story for you, but yeah, just like my town was like, hey, we're doing a Christmas thing where people can come up and gather up a bunch of toys, and a lot of the toys they had were all like the Unicron trilogy Transformers, and this guy was just in a pile of them. So I went down to my town and took it from the center. Yeah, it was pretty much, that's the sum and sort of the story. I did get a lot of other stuff up, but they were all like mainly like Legends guys and stuff, which we'll see in part 2. So woo, stay tuned. But yeah, then we got the rest of the Predacons and stuff. There you can see Beast Wars, Megatron, and all them. This guy, I need to make some kind of video on him because he's probably the rarest, most obscure Transformer I got, just like own in my collection, besides HasLab Starsaber, which we'll see in just a second. That is Beast Wars Japan in CD exclusive Alligator Megatron, or Alligatortron, as they call them in Japan. I got him at my recent AMA Con. If you saw that short that I did, it was just there. I think he was like $4. And the thing goes for like $200 and higher on eBay on his own, just from an American seller. I haven't been able to find it on any place like Buy or anything like that, so I don't know how much it goes for from people who own it in Japan. But I know from just glancing around from eBay and Mercari, he is basically non-existent, and when he does show up, he's super expensive. So that is just something I have. So it's cool. It's really kind of a funny story, but I have him. They didn't have the Optimus Prime there, so it's an incomplete set, but just him alone is still very expensive. But yeah, so that's the third shelf. These are all the Beast Wars stuff. So now we move on to the next final 2 shelves, I guess, for at least part 1. And I do have a whole other shelf, and as well as a drawer full of other figures, but we'll get to those in part 2 because I don't want this video to be extremely long. Right. So next up now we have the Decepticon shelf. This is not all of my Decepticons, these are just the ones I have on display at the moment. It's a very small shelf, so everyone's kind of hidden in shadow, but you can see everyone who's in there. There's a little Frenzy. I reviewed him, so real nice little figure. Yeah, do have Crasher. That's something I like pointing out because she was extremely hard to find, but managed to get her pretty on retail price, just out of nowhere. It's really cool. Anyway, we now move on to the final shelf right below. We now come to about the last shelf for the most part, until we get to part 2 at least, which is none other than the kind of just miscellaneous, super cool stuff is basically what this shelf is. So we got HasLab Starsaber and Victory Leo right there in present. We have the Walmart exclusive Energon series from the movie line. It's a repaint of not Energon, let me zoom in on him. Cybertron Hot Shot. He's just right there. We got some selects guys right here, which are from the Diaclone stuff. So you got Deep Cover and the other two. I always get their names mixed up. But you do also see the mini-cons there. We've got the Buzzworthy Bumblebee blue guy and what is it? Blue Streak. There we go. Completely forgot it. And of course, Animated Deluxe Pro, #1 favorite Transformer toy I own. Which is, well, one of them. I haven't talked about my Optimus Primes at all, which we'll get to in part 2. But yeah, so that's the overall complete collection. I'm going to leave it off on Victory Saber right there. That's at least for part 1. And as you can see, it's a pretty big collection. It's spread out across my stuff, and it obviously takes up so much more room than my Gundam stuff. Like, this is... yeah, like my Transformers stuff doubles, if not triples, my Gundam collection, which if y'all have not seen that video, go check it out. So, it's a really big collection. It's a little overwhelming. Some stuff, especially this ones, when we get to part 2 and I show off the ones that are in my storage drawer, a lot of those need to be getting rid of. Just because I don't have the space for them, or I'm not a fan of the toys anymore, and they just need to go off to new homes, stuff, get out of the way. But as of right now for part 1, that is the entire collection. So, if you enjoyed this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and wait around on the channel for part 2. So, until next time, you guys, peace.